Hey guys, Jake here. This is going to be the 17th of December 2019 vendor reset for this week. At the base of ops, they're selling an SNG9, which this is a steady-handed optimizing transmission. Transmission is great if you guys are dealing with shock, and you could roll this on here if someone's using like a pulse that could shock you, or just some of the drones that are shocking you. Next is going to be this MK16, which this has Wascally on it, so if you guys are dealing with people who have ensnare, like the riot foam, stuff like that, you can throw this on there to deal with people with that. And same goes for the stop, drop, and roll on this Magnum, which is great for people who are using bleed, stuff like that, and burn. That way, if you have no hazard protection, you could roll this, run with this pistol and just roll and get rid of the bleed. Now the next item is going to be the Providence Backpack, which just has crit damage, skill power, and health, which has efficient and self-adjusting with an offensive mod. And this Overload Armaments chest piece, which has insulated, skill power, weapon damage, and headshot damage, and offensive dexterity mod, which this one is actually really not that great, but it does have 2% damage to health and 3% weapon handling if you're looking for weapon handling. A drone, which this one's actually not bad. The damage is pretty high, so if you guys are looking for a high damage for the drone whole slot, I'd recommend picking this up. And a 60% duration for the turret housing slot. Over at the Clan vendor, they're selling the Pyromaniac like Cassie Mendoza was selling the other night. So if you need one, I'd recommend picking it up, which perfectly ignited is 40% damage to burning enemies. Next is going to be the Aces and Eights gloves, which are pretty bad with pistol damage and LMG damage. Negotiators little knee pads with 15,000 health. And a pretty decent 2 Patriot chest piece with Vital, 27,000 health. Weapon damage and crit damage if you're looking for a pretty decent vest with Vital already on it. Now to the weapons, and this is going to be the Police T821 with Greased, Distance, and Spike. Greased is great if you guys are trying to have some weapon swap speed. SR1 with Satis, Allegro, and Protected Deploy. M700 Tactical with Killer, Jazz Hands, and Recharged. And an AUG 3 with Satis if you guys are trying to make some type of bleed SMG build and you want to roll this onto like an MPX or an MP7 or even an MP5. PX4 Storm Type T with Optimist, Optimize, and Protected Reload. And a Murakami Industries holster with 14,000 armor on kill and 221 skill power. Providence Defensive holster as well with 10,000 health on kill and crit damage. And Defense Protocol Stamina mod with health regen, skill health, and health, which are 8,000, which are pretty high if you guys are looking for some pretty high health mods. SHD CPU, which is for the targeting slot for the turret, 147%. And these defensive system mending mods, which are pretty good with total armor, explosive resistance, and 400,000 armor. So if you guys are looking for total armor, you can pick these up. And the pulse coil slot with 141% remote skill haste. Over at the theater, they're selling a close and personal Super 90 shotgun if you guys are looking for a close and personal for your shotguns, which isn't that bad if you guys are right in people's faces, and you kill someone with like the rock and roll shotgun and proc with those 30 extra rounds and get that 50% extra damage. Satis, which is bleed damage if you guys are trying to make a bleed build like I said, and this is on an M1A. Surgical on these Murakami gloves with health and shotgun damage. D&H knee pads which have crit chance, embrace for weapon handling while on cover. Defense system mending mod, which this one is doesn't have the it's probably the best one I've seen in a while, at least for me. What I need has 8,000 health already on it with 1.5 total armor and 3,205 armor. So these are pretty awesome. 57.4 damage for the Seeker Mine for the targeting slot, and fiber for the ballistic shield, the gyro slot, which is 92 health and 262 Firefly skill power. Now the next location is going to be the campus. They're selling an SR1 with First Blood, a close and personal MG5, a 5.11 mask with damage to elites and health capacitive on it, a Richter and Kaiser holster with crit damage and skill power, and a utility system mod which has skill power and pulse if you're looking for one of those, but it is pretty low, and a damage for the pneumatic slot for the Chem Launcher, healing for the Hive, and duration for the pulse. Now the next location is going to be the DZs, which this is DZ West. Just remember you need other resources for this. A Reformation and Jazz Hands Protected Deploy KSG. An MK17 with Close and Personal Allegro and Recharged. 10% marksman rifle damage, Araldi Holdings gloves with kneecap. China Light knee pads with patience and skill haste. Shock and destroying resistance mods. Healing for the Seeker Mine. And auxiliary batteries for the Firefly and for the shield. Next is DZ South. They're selling a Vector with Reformation and Optimizing Cannon. An ACR with Spike, Extra, and Overlap. An X45 Tactical, Reformation, Distance, and Zen. Petrov backpack with Insulate and Spark, 2 blues and 2 yellows. Providence chest piece with capacitive, crit chance, crit damage, and health, and 5% assault rifle damage mods, which will cost you 50 DZ credits. If you guys are looking for pretty high mods, I'd recommend picking these up, but the weapon damage is pretty low, but assault rifle damage is pretty good. Extra bombs for the drone, for the hull slot, and mods for the turret. Next is going to be DZ East. They're selling SRS A1 with Satis, Accurate, and Double Duty. M249 with Ignited, Optimized, and Double Duty. A Overlord Armaments Mass with Health, Skill Haze, and Destructive. 8% health and crit damage on this Gila holster. Utility systems for the increased duration for Ensnare and Confuse. A mod for the Ensnare health for the Kim Launcher. And duration for the Hive. And radius for the Pulse. That's what it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe for more new content, and I'll catch you guys all later.